Welcome everybody to this episode of RoadKill, where we build a car from automation and see what would happen if RoadKill had a production car. That's way overkill for what it's meant to be. Welcome everybody to this episode of RoadKill, where we're doing something different. If that makes any sense. We're not in BeamNG. We're in this game called Automation, the car company tycoon game, which basically is self-explanatory. You build cars and you see how they'd sell for in the market. But as of a couple months ago, breaking BeamNG completely, I bought this game. So I could use the automation to BeamNG conversion update. And it's awesome. Basically, whatever car you build, you can convert over the BeamNG and it will work and function like a car in BeamNG. But it will look like a car that you designed in automation. Now, obviously, the cars aren't as detailed as you would expect. Whatchamacallit. Basically, the cars are not like a normal BeamNG cars. There's no interiors, there's no, like in-depth suspension, showable drive shafts, the tires will pop, the cars can't overheat. There isn't a lot of that. But there is a lot of work that you can do with the motor. You can make a wide variety of cars, and they will work and function like in BeamNG. Now, if I go in the sandbox, as you can see, I built plenty of cars. I built plenty of them. We're going to start a new one. And yeah, basically what the challenge is, we're going to build a car that would basically be designed for public use, but in roadkill fashion. And of course, if we're going to do that, we're going to go to the bottom of the list of the old cars. Now, for this to be proper roadkill style, the car needs to be old. Now, I don't want to go with a wagon. Of course, there's the 240Z bodies, which are pretty cool, which I'd use them. It'd be typical of me to use them, but I'm not going to. I'm going to lean off of them. But there are a lot of car options. I was thinking about going with a 40s car, but I feel like that would be a mistake. Even though I did see a cool version of the, where'd it go? This one. I did see a cool version of the 46 Coupe with a mid-engine, like 700 horsepower V6 in the back of it, and it was awesome. But we're not going to do that. We are going to go with something at least like 60s or higher. Maybe, you know, like the 65 Coupe here, maybe. Ooh, or maybe this one. I like the look of this one, actually. Yeah. That's what we're going to use. This is 65 Coupe. That long. We need a big, chunky muscle car, too. I can't see the other one. Oh, that's a convertible. Okay. Alright, move on. So, I didn't do any research on how older cars are built. I don't want to make this thing, you know, oh, let's just put a carbon fiber frame on it. No. All I know is that old muscle cars, they were built with steel. Now, the type of... I'm going to just say that it's ladder, the type of frame that they used to be built on. I don't know much about designing cars. I've messed around in the game enough to know what I'm doing. That was the whole purpose of me waiting this long, so that I knew what I was doing, knew how to tune a motor. But, yeah. Chassis materials, steel. I think we're just going to leave it at steel. Front longitude. We're going to go with a double wishbone axle in the front, which is what most muscle cars would have. Then in the rear, they would usually have a solid axle leaf spring suspension. Most of them would, at least for a car for what we're going with. And then next, the engine. This is where a lot of the work is going to be put into this thing. So, it's got to be a V8, cast iron block, and we're going to make it big. I don't know how to read some of this stuff because half of it is in the metric system and half of it is in the other system that I can't name because, yeah. So, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just going to make the engine that much bigger. Heads, push rod. Ooh. Yeah. Make it a little bigger. A little bigger maybe with this. No? No. Get a little bigger. I feel like that's good. It's a good size. Now, in RoadKill fashion, I want this to be an older car, but modified, because the process of modifying these cars isn't, you know, very fun. Because you got to come into this game, redo them. If you put a different motor in it, it's a whole process that isn't really fun. I've tried it with a few of the cars that I have already in the game, but it didn't work out well. Now, head material, we're going to do cast iron, no VVTL. The crank. I'm assuming that the crank was, you know, cast. The con rods, the pistons were all cast for back in the day. So we'll leave that alone. We're not going to mess with any of this yet. And there is no VVT. So, yeah, don't worry about it. We'll mess with the cam and the compression and everything once the motor's fully built and has aspiration here. Which we're going to put twin turbos on it. Because you can't supercharge engines in this. So we're going to get a turbocharged Impala looking car. This is what I kind of want this to be, is Impala-ish. So twin turbo, we'll stick with the journal bearings, even though ball bearing does offer a little bit higher horsepower. But the intercooler, we're going to tune that up to 500. We're going to put this in performance. So we're going to leave all that alone. We'll tune the car a little bit more once we get the engine built. Fuel. We're going to do carbureted. We're going to do 4-barrel, twin carbs. We're going to do performance intake. And I want to do 93 octane. There we go. That's the engine we're working with for the car that I don't have a name for yet. Oh, look at that. There's a distributor. I've never realized that about the engine before. That's really cool. The exhaust. Now, of course, in RoadKill fashion, the biggest exhaust with no baffling whatsoever. This thing is going to be loud. So, it is going to be knocking, and that's where we come back to the compression. Now, what is it saying? Try lowering the compression and the ignition timing. Oh, there it goes. It's going up. So, without tuning, we're making 368 horsepower and 457 pound-foot of torque. That isn't bad numbers. Fuel system can't cope with the levels of boost. Try lowering the boost pressure. Alright, fuck you. Cam profile, though, we're going to try to raise that up a little bit. I want this thing to push 600, which is going to take a lot of tuning. And, of course, we're going to have to mess with the boost and, well, oh, we're going down in power. 748, 406, 407, 409, okay. I think that's the best it's going to get is 409 there. I can get away with upping the compression a little bit to 416, okay. Aspiration. Nope, I'm losing power. Ooh, but I can get it up to 419. Alright, the turbine. Oh. Okay, 425, 427, 28, 430, 431. Okay. And that's peak power there. Air ratio. Can that go up? Yes, it can. 440, torque is going down, 439, okay. Max boost. It's knocking. We turn this down. No. We're back to performance, 416. Alright, you know what? I'm going to work my magic with this motor so that this video isn't an hour long, so I'll be right back with the final results. Well, there's the final numbers. 597 horsepower and 481 pound-foot of torque. That is the best I could get out of this thing. I could push it to 600 if I want the engine to knock a little bit and the pistons to see a little bit of a failure rate. So we're just going to leave it at 597. That's a good enough power number for me. Maybe if I lower the exhaust diameter a little? No? Alright, well, get it up there. So, let's see. The intercooler, yeah, it is like 85% air restriction. We're not going to care about that. It's going to make as much power as it's going to make. So, headphone users... just headphone users. Be careful here. Because this thing's gonna be fucking loud. But I like loud cars, so I hope you do too. tops. Wow. It's a 320 inch, a 320 cubic inch V8. Okay. I never saw that before, and I think I need to, like... Oh my god, could I make like a 340 cubic inch engine? Could I please do that? Oh! 600! And it's knocking. 602. 324 cubic inch. I'm fine with that. 602 horsepower. That's just like right at the range that I wanted. That's awesome. Okay. So now we're on to the fun part. And that's making this thing look like an older muscle car. Wow, look at the wheel gap on this thing. So, oh, okay, so there's a pickup truck version and a van version of the pickup truck, but we're keeping that. We are going to make it modify light blue, because I want Crusher Impala. I want Crusher Impala on this, because this is like a very Impala-looking car. Now, I do have some mods for this game as well. I've downloaded a few mods off of the workshop, so you're going to see some different lights and whatnot. But, yeah. We're just going to have fun with it. Of course, there's all kinds of modern lights right there. Which, there's actually a few good ones for making what I want. But I want to go with these. Make them a little smaller. And flip vertically. Rotate. Yeah, there we go. So I want to move them over like that. And mirror. Oh. Can I duplicate? Bring forward. Oh yeah, you can bring them forward a little bit. I think we're good. But we're gonna need all chrome. Except for the glass fixture. That needs to be a little bit brighter. Yeah. Yeah, leave it like that. Cheap, easy. Leave them like that. I do want to put more on. Just gotta try to match the sizes best as I can. That looks pretty good. But I don't like that. I think these are good. Move them in a little bit. Make them a little bigger. Alright. I think that's good. Now, I actually do want to go back and paint really fast. Bumpers, front and rear. I want them to be chrome. We need chrome bumpers. I'm going to leave them blue. Alright, back to here. There's the lights. I did see in here that there was some good blinkers. Which... don't work. Okay. Let's get rid of these. I think I'm just gonna do these, because I think these will look a little bit better. Everything's all chromed up. Yes. Let's go back to here. And there we go. Here's our headlights. We'll go on to taillights now. And it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but we can make something stylish, I'm sure of it, for an older muscle car. Well, first of all, oh cool, you Yeah, you can't put it on the window. Well, get rid of it. I kind of thought about doing the Impala styled lights on the bumper. And then, let's see, how much... I'm not even on trans yet. Paint. Trim body. Can I bring that? Oh, shit. Well. I gotta make it a little longer. Yeah, it's too long. Keep that where it is. Can I have this slope a little bit more? Ooh, okay. Bring that back a little bit. Okay, I like that a little better. We can put a wide body on it, but we're just gonna have it pop out slightly. Yeah, there we go. Give it a little bit of curve. But yeah, I think the taillights I'm gonna stick with that. No. Get rid of them. I need lights in here, because that's like the perfect spot to put lights. So I think just to be happy, I'm gonna try these, but I'm gonna rotate them. A little bigger? Yeah. That's gonna have to work. Indicators. Now, as of, you know, the usual muscle cars, they always have side indicators, so we gotta put two, maybe more here. Is a better location? Yeah. And put two right there in the rear fender. As of old muscle cars, it's what they usually have to pass, I guess, anything really. Alright, the grill. This is where it's going to get a little interesting. Because I feel like... Ooh. Oh, yeah. I like that. Just these lights bring forward one. Oh, yes. I love the look of that. That is one hell of a grill. That's perfect. Wow. All right then. In the style of vents, there's sadly no cool hood scoops. So we're gonna leave that out. Well, there is this. Put a big old hood scoop. Yeah, I like that. Kind of has a Plymouth look to it now, more than an Impala. Kind of looks like, you know, a Dodge Coronet, maybe. A little bit more like that, or a Duster. Not bad, though. Front lips, I don't need anything. Spoiler, wing, we don't need anything. Fuel cap. Because it's modified, we're just going to put a fuel cap right here. To make it look like that there is a... whatchamacallit, actually make it a little bigger. Yeah. We're just going to put a racing looking one, just for the style of it. Door handles. Ooh. Like to look at these. Make them a little bigger and flip them. Oh, that's neat. That's neat. Need to flip horizontally. There we go. And like right there-ish. Alright. Mirrors. we need to put little something like that on. That's on the. We need to go here. Can I? Ooh, okay. Just a little bigger. Yeah, there we go. That looks muscle car-ish. Antennas. Usually the muscle car, usually classic muscle cars, they have the big old antenna right there. Can I make it? No. Can't make it wider. But there you go. Number plates. They'd usually go on the back here, so let's just put the classic U-Watt plate and make it all chrome, so that it blends in. And we'll do the same on the front. Okay, and move it down a touch. Yeah, that looks good. Bumper bars, I'm not going to worry too much about it, but something that I've kind of seen that I really liked was that you can kind of give cars a side pipes type look. I can't get it any lower. I don't like the look of that, so screw it, but you can kind of give it side pipes type of look. And the final one before we cut the beam, because I think this thing is pretty much done, we're going to do longitude, rear-wheel drive. Oh yeah, look at that big old motor in there. Turbos are hitting the suspension, that's how big our motor is. We're going to do a manual. And just because it's a racing type car, I'll leave it at that. We'll boost it up to 48 miles an hour. The spacing will boost up to 70. We're going to do a geared LSD. That's where we're going to stop it. So I'm going to get the rest of this car done, and we'll meet back in BeamNG. Okay, so this thing sucks. It doesn't like me at all. So basically what I have to say about it is, this thing's undrivable when it comes to pavement, and it's probably going to be undrivable when it comes to a gravel road. I've already tried a handling test, and that failed twice. So I thought the next best thing is to come to the off-road circuit and see if I can slide the car around. So, yeah. Get ready to not hear me for a couple minutes. Wow, that went way better. Damn. This thing's a pig. This thing is a real pig. Alright, well let's take it around the automation track, see what type of time it could put down in a lap. We'll be back. Okay. I muted the game because this car is loud and I can't shut it off. And this thing sucks. It has bad brake fade by the end of the track. This is a hard video. And this car needs a lot of work. You never know, you may never see this thing again. This is proving to be a bad idea, building a car for RoadKill standards in a short time. So, let's see how this goes. And, yeah. You won't hear me. Headphone users, watch out. There you go. 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Oh my god, I thought it stopped me, but it didn't. Yeah. 2 minutes and 51 seconds. That's pretty bad. I bet most of the RoadKill cars can probably go faster than that. So, yeah. I don't know what to call this thing. And it sucks. Don't ever do this. Horrible idea. Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye. So, I'm back here a day later. I didn't expect to be back here a day later. I thought this thing was just gonna sit and we'd never see it again. But remember that conservative 600 horsepower I wanted. Well, I doubled that. This thing is now running 1,200 horsepower. This is literally the highest horsepower engine that I've built in automation without even trying. And just to say, 1,200 is conservative. It's very conservative for this thing because I could make more. I bet I could make this thing make 1,500 horsepower if I tried. But I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna try. This thing is getting too crazy. Now, I am trying to work out the transmission. I'm trying to tune the transmission. Right now I put an auto in it, and it seems better, but this car has a lot of turbo lag. But, yeah. Things that I've added, though, I had to badge it, so I put RoadKill on the side. I gave it a wang, because why not? I fixed little things. I tried to fix the grill, but that wouldn't go away, the little boobs in the grill, so yeah. Oh, and I put rims on it. And mufflers. Well, I didn't put actual mufflers on it. I only put exhaust pipes on it, but yeah. So I'd never expected to be doing this, but I felt like this was such a huge change that I made to the car, and I haven't edited the video yet, so I was like, okay, I might as well try it, but yeah, let's try to drag test it. Now, I actually need to do this in order for the car to do a burnout. Still working out the kinks. Don't worry. Go up to the line. There we go. That was good. No, stop. Okay, get out of that. Get out of that. Not made for it. That may not seem like 1200 horsepower, but it will one day. Because I think this shocking discovery of how much power I can cram into this garbage has most likely just saved this car. Probably going to shove a manual back in it. I'm not sure yet, but me going back and messing with the engine just saved this car from never being seen again. This was going to have the faith of Papa Wheelie. So, yeah. I don't know. I really don't know what the faith of this car is. It's too grippy, and it just doesn't have the transmission in it. I gotta really work on making a good trans for this thing. Really tuning it out and making it work. But that's gonna be it for this episode. Conservative. You don't overdo it, don't do it at all. This is the perfect example of that. And I didn't even put mufflers back on it, so we're going to have to live with this thing not having mufflers. But hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.